The door of the bustling diner swung open with a sharp jingle, but for Elias Hawthorne, it might as well have been a slamming gate. At 89, his frail hands trembled as he clutched his faded veteran's cap, the one embroidered with the insignia from a war long forgotten by most. The waitress's eyes narrowed, her voice cutting through the chatter like a knife. "Sorry, sir. We don't serve folks who look like they can't pay house policy." Elias stood there, frozen, the weight of decades crashing down on his shoulders. He had survived the beaches of Normandy, the screams of fallen comrades echoing in his ears even now. But this simple denial pierced deeper than any bullet. His wallet held enough for a modest meal, a quiet celebration of another year endured, but his threadbare coat, an unshaven chin painted him as an outcast in the eyes of strangers. As he turned to leave, the diner's patrons glanced away, uncomfortable witnesses to an old man's humiliation. Elias shuffled out into the crisp autumn air, the wind biting at his thin frame, whispering reminders of battles won and lives lost. He didn't cry out Elias, who had buried friends in foreign soil, but a quiet rage simmered beneath his stoic exterior, a fire kindled by the injustice of being invisible in the country he had bled for. Back inside, the waitress, young and harried, wiped her hands on her apron, oblivious to the storm she had unleashed. The manager nodded approvingly from behind the counter, enforcing the no loiterers rule that kept their upscale clientele comfortable. Little did they know, Elias wasn't just any veteran. He was a decorated hero whose actions in World War II had saved countless lives, including, indirectly, the family of the town's mayor. Elias made his way home slowly, each step a testament to his resilience. His small cottage on the outskirts of Willow Creek was a shrine to his past, medals gathering dust on the mantel, yellowed photographs of young soldiers grinning defiantly at the camera. He sank into his armchair, the fabric worn thin from years of solitary evenings, and let the memories flood in. That night, as Elias stared at the ceiling, sleep evading him like an old enemy, a knock echoed through the quiet house. It was his granddaughter, Lily, a vibrant 25-year-old journalist who had moved back to town to care for him. "Grandpa, what happened today? I heard from Mrs. Jenkins at the grocery store you were turned away from Eddie's diner." Elias sighed, his voice gravelly but steady. "Just a misunderstanding, sweetheart. Folks see an old man and assume the worst." But Lily's eyes flashed with determination. She pulled out her phone, her fingers flying across the screen. "This isn't right. You're a hero, Grandpa. The world needs to know." By morning, Lily had posted a heartfelt thread on social media, detailing Elias's service record: the Purple Heart for wounds sustained in battle, the Silver Star for gallantry under fire. She included a photo of him in uniform, young and fierce, juxtaposed with his current frail form. The post went viral in the small town, shares rippling out like waves from a stone tossed into a pond. Whispers spread through Willow Creek. At the diner, the waitress scrolled through her feed during her break, her face paling as she read the comments. "That's the old guy I turned away," she muttered, a knot forming in her stomach. The manager called an emergency staff meeting, but it was too late. The story had reached the local news. Mayor Harlan Thorpe, a polished man in his 50s with a reputation for community events and ribbon cuttings, saw the post while sipping his coffee. His heart skipped a beat. Elias Hawthorne, the name, stirred something deep. Harlan's father had served in the same unit, often speaking of the man who had dragged him to safety during a brutal ambush. "Without Elias," his father used to say, "you wouldn't be here, son." Guilt washed over Harlan like a tidal wave. He had known Elias lived in town, had even attended a veterans parade where the old man was honored years ago, but life had gotten busy. Now, this embarrassment stained his administration. He grabbed his coat and headed to the diner, his mind racing with apologies and damage control. Meanwhile, Elias awoke to a barrage of notifications on the old tablet Lily had set up for him. Messages of support poured in from strangers, veterans groups offering aid, even a few donations to a fund Lily had started for his medical bills. But Elias waved it off. "I don't need pity," he told Lily over breakfast. "I need respect for all of us who came back broken." As the day unfolded, the diner's parking lot filled with protesters, veterans in caps, families with signs reading, "Honor our heroes." The manager stood at the door, flustered, issuing a public apology on the spot. "We regret the incident and are reviewing our policies," he stammered into a reporter's microphone. Elias watched from his window as the chaos unfolded downtown, a mix of vindication and sorrow in his chest. He hadn't sought this attention. All he wanted was a hot meal without judgment. Lily squeezed his hand. "This is bigger than you now, Grandpa. It's about changing how we see people." That evening, Mayor Thorpe arrived at Elias's door, hat in hand, his usual confidence replaced by genuine remorse. "Mr. Hawthorne, I can't express how sorry I am. Your service to this country and to my family deserves better." Elias invited him in, not out of forgiveness yet, but curiosity. They sat in the living room, the mayor recounting stories his father had shared. Elias listened, his eyes misting as forgotten camaraderie resurfaced. "War doesn't end when you come home," Elias said softly. "It lingers in the quiet moments, in the way people look at you or don't." Harlan nodded, promising reforms, sensitivity training for businesses, a Veterans Appreciation Day. But as they talked, a twist emerged. An unexpected visitor knocked. It was the waitress from the diner, tears streaming down her face. "I didn't know," she whispered. "My grandfather was a veteran too. He passed last year alone. I see now how I failed you and him." Elias rose slowly, placing a hand on her shoulder. "We all make mistakes, child. The important thing is learning from them." In that moment, the room filled with a profound sense of humanity, bridging generations through shared regret and redemption. But the story was far from over. Whispers of a larger scandal began to surface, rumors that the diner's owner had ties to City Hall, influencing policies that marginalized the elderly. Lily, ever the journalist, dug deeper, uncovering emails that suggested the mayor's office had overlooked complaints about discriminatory practices in local businesses. Elias felt a surge of purpose he hadn't known in years. "If this is what it takes to make things right," he told Lily, "then let's fight." The old veteran, once denied a seat at a table, now found himself at the center of a movement for dignity. As night fell, Elias reflected on the day's whirlwind. Forgiveness wasn't easy, but it was necessary for healing, for progress. Yet, beneath the surface, unresolved tensions simmered, hinting at battles yet to come. The mayor's plea echoed in Elias's mind long after Harlan Thorpe had left, a mix of sincerity and political necessity that left the old veteran wary. But Elias pushed it aside, focusing on the warmth of Lily's support as they planned their next steps. The following morning, the town buzzed with renewed energy, news crews setting up outside the diner for interviews. Elias decided to face the world head-on. With Lily by his side, he walked to the town square, where an impromptu gathering had formed. Veterans from surrounding areas had driven in, their faces weathered like his, sharing stories of similar slights, denied services, forgotten sacrifices. One man, a Vietnam vet named Carlos, gripped Elias's hand. "Brother, your story is ours. We've been invisible too long." As Elias addressed the crowd, his voice steady despite the tremor in his hands, he spoke not of anger, but of unity. "I fought for freedom overseas, but here at home, we still battle for respect. Let's not let age or appearance define our worth." Cheers erupted, a chorus of solidarity that mended something broken inside him. Back at home, Lily pored over documents, her laptop screen illuminating her determined face. "Grandpa, these emails show the mayor knew about the diner's policies. He turned a blind eye because the owner donated to his campaign." Elias's jaw tightened. Power corrupts, even in small towns. The twist deepened when an unexpected ally emerged. Harlan's own daughter, Sophia, a college student home for break. She had seen Lily's post and confronted her father. Now, she showed up at Elias's door with a folder of insider information. "Dad's not all bad, but he's complacent. I want to help expose this for you, and for justice." Sophia, with her youthful idealism, brought a fresh perspective. She revealed that her grandfather Harlan's father had left letters detailing Elias's heroism, letters Harlan had ignored in his climb to power. "He owes you more than an apology," she said, her voice cracking. "He owes you gratitude." Elias felt a pang of empathy for the young woman, caught between family loyalty and moral clarity. Together, the three, Elias, Lily, and Sophia, formed an unlikely alliance, plotting to present their findings at the next town council meeting. As they worked late into the night, laughter mingled with serious discussion, forging bonds across generations. The diner, meanwhile, faced backlash. Boycotts emptied its tables, forcing the manager to issue a fuller apology and offer free meals to veterans. The waitress, reformed by her encounter, volunteered at the local VA, her actions a quiet redemption arc that touched Elias deeply. But tension mounted as the council meeting approached. Harlan, sensing the storm, called Elias privately. "Please, let's handle this quietly. I can make changes without the scandal." Elias paused, weighing the offer. "Mayor, true change comes from light, not shadows." On the day of the meeting, the hall overflowed with residents. Elias took the podium, his medals pinned proudly to his chest. He recounted his denial, the pain of dismissal, then unveiled the evidence with Lily and Sophia's help. Gasps filled the room as emails projected on the screen showed Harlan's complicity. Harlan stood, face ashen, and approached the microphone. "I failed you, Elias. I failed this town. My father's stories of your bravery should have guided me, but I let ambition blind me." He turned to Elias, dropping to one knee in a dramatic plea. "Forgive Minute as mayor, but as a son of the man you saved." The room fell silent, the weight of history hanging heavy. Elias extended a hand, helping Harlan up. "Forgiveness is earned through action, not words. Start by honoring all veterans, all elders, in this community." Applause thundered, a turning point for Willow Creek. Policies shifted overnight. Anti-discrimination training mandated, a veterans center funded. Elias became a local icon, his story inspiring school programs on empathy and history. Yet, in quieter moments, Elias grappled with the emotional toll. One evening, as he sat with Lily and Sophia, he shared a vulnerable truth. "I never wanted to be a symbol. I just wanted to eat in peace." Their hugs reminded him that vulnerability was strength, that human connections healed deepest wounds. As the town healed, Elias found solace in small victories: a free meal at the diner, served with genuine smiles, letters from young people thanking him for his service. The mayor, true to his word, visited often, rebuilding trust through deeds. But beneath the surface, another layer emerged, a personal twist for Elias. Sophia, digging through her grandfather's letters, discovered a faded photograph: Elias and Harlan's father, arms around each other, with a note revealing they were not just comrades, but distant cousins through a shared ancestry traced back to immigrants who fought in earlier wars. This revelation stunned everyone. "We're family," Sophia whispered, tears flowing. Elias chuckled softly. "War makes brothers of us all, but blood? That's a surprise even for an old dog like me." The bond deepened, turning adversaries into kin. Harlan hosted a family reunion, where stories flowed like wine, honoring the past while forging the future. Elias, at the head of the table, felt a profound sense of belonging he hadn't known since the war. As weeks passed, the incident faded into legend, but its lessons endured. Elias taught classes at the news center, his voice carrying the weight of experience, emphasizing compassion over judgment. "See the person, not the shell," he urged. Lily's journalism career soared, her article on the saga winning awards. Sophia returned to college with renewed purpose, majoring in social justice. And Harlan? He governed with humility, his plea for forgiveness a pivotal moment in his legacy. For Elias, peace came in quiet reflection. Staring at the stars one night, he whispered thanks to fallen friends. "We did good," he said, a smile creasing his face. The revelation of kinship rippled through Elias's life like aftershocks from a distant explosion, reshaping relationships in unexpected ways. Family dinners became regular, with Harlan sharing tales of his father's admiration for Elias, bridging gaps widened by time. Yet, Elias couldn't shake a lingering doubt: was this redemption genuine or a polished facade? One afternoon, while sorting through old trunks in his attic, Elias uncovered a journal from his war days. Yellowed pages detailed not just battles, but personal sacrifices, letters to a sweetheart lost to illness, dreams deferred for duty. Reading them aloud to Lily, tears welled. "I gave everything, and for what? To be turned away at 89? Lily hugged him tightly. "For us, Grandpa. For a better world." Her words ignited a spark. Elias decided to write his memoirs, with her help, to preserve the human side of heroism. As the book took shape, another twist unfolded. An anonymous donor funded its publication, revealed later as the diner's owner, seeking atonement. The man, a reclusive businessman named Victor Lang, visited Elias privately. I built my empire on exclusion, thinking it protected profits. Your story showed me the cost to souls. Victor, in his 60s, shared his own hidden pain. A veteran brother who had succumbed to PTSD, shunned by society. I failed him like we failed you. Elias listened, empathy softening his resolve. Pain begets pain, but forgiveness breaks the cycle. Their conversation led to collaboration. Victor sponsored scholarships for veterans' children, naming them after Elias. The town celebrated with a gala, where Elias received a key to the city from Harlan. Standing on stage, he spoke from the heart. This isn't about me. It's about every elder dismissed, every veteran overlooked. Let's build a community where dignity is the norm. The event drew national attention, reporters flocking to Willow Creek. Elias's story aired on evening news, inspiring similar movements elsewhere. Calls flooded in offers for speaking engagements, even a documentary proposal. Overwhelmed, Elias leaned on his new family. Sophia, back for the holidays, brought energy to the memoirs project. Let's add photos, make it visual, she suggested. Digging through archives, she found a letter from Harlan's father to Elias, never sent. You saved my life, brother. If I have a son, he'll know your name. Reading it, Harlan broke down. I should have honored this sooner. Elias patted his back. We honor it now. The moment sealed their bond, turning regret into renewal. But challenges persisted. Elias's health declined, a persistent cough from old war injuries. Doctors recommended rest, but he refused to slow down. I've rested enough, he quipped. Lily worried, balancing caregiving with her career. One stormy night, as thunder rattled the windows, Elias suffered a fall. Rushed to the hospital, he lay in bed, surrounded by loved ones. Harlan arrived first, guilt etched on his face. This is my fault, the stress I caused. Elias shook his head weakly. No, son. Life's battles don't end easy. In that vulnerable hour, confessions flowed. Harlan admitted his mayoral ambitions had overshadowed family values. Sophia shared her fears of disappointing him. Lily vowed to carry Elias's legacy. The crisis united them further. Elias recovered slowly, his hospital room a hub of storytelling and laughter. Visitors included the waitress, now a friend, and Carlos, the Vietnam vet, who organized a guard of honor outside. Discharged, Elias returned home, transformed, not bitter, but purposeful. The memoirs neared completion, a testament to resilience. At a book launch in the town hall, hundreds attended. Elias read excerpts, his voice quivering with emotion. War taught me survival. Life taught me grace. Harlan introduced him, his speech heartfelt. Elias isn't just a veteran. He's our conscience. Applause echoed, but Elias's eyes sought the quiet heroes in the crowd, the elderly, the overlooked. Post-launch, life settled into a rhythm of advocacy. Elias spoke at schools, sharing lessons on empathy. Judged not by covers, but by chapters lived. Students hung on his words, planting seeds of change. Yet, a final twist awaited. Victor Lang, inspired by Elias, sold the diner and donated proceeds to a veteran's home. In his will, he named Elias executor, trusting his wisdom. You've shown me redemption, Victor wrote in a letter. Elias, humbled, accepted, ensuring the funds aided those in need. As winter approached, he reflected on the journey from denial to dignity. One act of injustice sparked a fire of humanity, he told Lily. Gatherings with Harlan's family became cherished, blending generations in shared meals and memories. Sophia interned at the Veterans Center, her passion ignited. Harlan reformed policies, earning re-election on a platform of inclusion. For Elias, true peace came in simple joys, a walk in the park, children's laughter, the knowledge that his story mattered. He whispered to the wind, "We did it, old friends." But echoes of the past lingered, reminding him that forgiveness was ongoing, a daily choice. Spring bloomed in Willow Creek, mirroring the renewal in Elias's life. Flowers dotted the paths he walked daily, each petal a symbol of fragile beauty amid hardship. At 90 now, he moved slower, but his spirit soared, fueled by the changes he had wrought. The Veterans Center thrived, a beacon for the weary. Elias volunteered there, counseling young returnees from modern conflicts. The war outside ends, but the one inside? That's where friends matter, he advised a troubled Marine. The young man nodded, tears unspoken, finding solace in shared silence. Lily's book tour took her nationwide, Elias's memoirs touching hearts. Reviews praised its raw emotion, a poignant reminder of humanity's debt to its elders. Royalties funded more programs, but Elias insisted on anonymity. It's not about glory, it's about good. Harlan, reformed, invited Elias to city events as an advisor. Their kinship deepened conversations discussing ancestry, war's toll, life's ironies. "Cousin," Harlan joked one day, "you saved my dad, and now you've saved me from myself." Elias smiled. Family sticks, even when late to the party. Sophia graduated, her thesis on elder rights dedicated to Elias. At the ceremony, he beamed proudly, a surrogate grandfather. "You've got fire, girl. Use it well." She hugged him fiercely, whispering, "Because of you." Yet, shadows crept in. Health scares recurred, a heart flutter, dizzy spells. Doctors warned of limited time. Elias faced it stoically. "I've outlived wars. I'll outlive worries." But privately, fear gnawed, leaving unfinished business. One evening, an unexpected visitor arrived. The documentary crew, greenlit after the book's success. The director, a veteran herself, captured Elias's essence interviews in his cottage, walks through town, reflections at the diner now renamed Heroes Haven. Filming unearthed buried emotions. Recounting Normandy, Elias choked up. "Boys became men in blood-soaked sand. I carried their dreams home." The crew paused, respecting the moment. Harlan joined a scene, his plea reenacted with raw authenticity. "Begging forgiveness was my awakening," he confessed on camera. The twist came midway through production, a letter from overseas. A French family, descendants of villagers Elias's unit liberated, had seen the news. "Your bravery saved our grandparents. We honor you." Enclosed was an invitation to revisit Normandy for the 80th D-Day anniversary. Elias hesitated travel at his age, but Lily insisted. "This is closure, Grandpa." Funded by Victor's estate, the trip became reality. Accompanied by family, Elias boarded the plane, heart pounding like in his youth. In France, crowds greeted him, medals bestowed, tears shed. Standing on the beach, wind whipping his coat, Elias touched the sand. "I'm home, brothers," he murmured. A young boy approached, saluting. "Thank you, sir." Elias knelt, pinning a small flag on the child's shirt. "Remember us with kindness." The experience rejuvenated him. Back home, the documentary premiered to acclaim, amplifying his message. Viewers wrote letters. "Your story changed how I treat my aging parents." Elias replied personally, each word a bridge. As summer waned, Elias hosted a town picnic at the center. Laughter filled the air, veterans sharing stories, children playing. Harlan announced a statue in Elias's honor. Not just for service, but for teaching us humanity. Elias demurred. Statues fade, actions endure. In his speech, he emphasized values: respect, empathy, forgiveness. "I was denied once, but gained a world of connection." Health declined further that fall. Hospitalized again, Elias gathered his loved ones. "Don't mourn, celebrate the lives we touched." Harlan, tearful, promised to uphold his legacy. Lily vowed to continue advocacy. Sophia pledged to fight injustice. In his final days, peace enveloped him. Visions of comrades welcomed him. "Well done, soldier." Elias passed quietly, a smile on his lips, surrounded by family. The funeral drew thousands, veterans saluting, townsfolk weeping. Harlan eulogized. "He taught us to see the hero in everyone." Buried with honors, his grave became a pilgrimage site. In the aftermath, Willow Creek transformed. Policies protected the vulnerable, the center expanded. Lily founded a foundation in his name. Sophia ran for office, inspired by his fire. Harlan governed with integrity, his plea a turning point. Elias's story lived on in books, films, hearts. A reminder that one injustice can spark profound change, that forgiveness heals, that humanity prevails. Years later, on quiet evenings, folks whispered his tale, ensuring the veteran who was denied was forever remembered with reverence.